okay, we are definitely alive by now. Yep, looks like everybody's turned up. Oh boy. Okay, yes, the 1165s, contrary to the sorry, not the 1165, the 1465. Contrary to the 1466, I really do not like the 65s. I've had a bad run with them. I don't know whether it's just statistically just bad luck or whether there is actually a design problem, but believe me, I do not like these. Okay, so we've got liquid damage on this, which means it's probably going to be even more fun. Guess we'll just rip it open and see what we're going to be dealing with. And hello to everybody saying hello. Which is everybody. Kind of wondering when Jim's going to turn up. I don't know what it is about these 11-inch models, but they, in terms of bounces and complete refunds, this model ranks the highest for me. It doesn't even feel like a real laptop sometimes. Boy. I wonder where the liquid damage is. It's really fantastic when you get a description and all it has is liquid damage. Well, I suppose, yeah, at least it's being honest. It's like, well, it's liquid damage. Travis, you should be able to do that on Chrome and such. Up the top on the tabs, there's a little speaker. You should be able to click on the speaker and it will mute the ones you don't want. Well, it's it looks, the clean look is deceptive, I dare say. It's going to have liquid damage somewhere. Well, we haven't had damage on here yet, so alright. It is funny that often with the ones that come in as declared liquid damage tend to have less liquid damage than the ones that don't. So 551. Oh, Travis, that worked for you? Good. Yeah, it's a neat little trick. Well, I really don't know where this liquid damage is. I can see a bunch of junk coming in through the back vents, but I have a feeling this is a topside liquid damage, as in it came through the keyboard. I mean, I could be wrong. Yeah, Riston, you're probably right. I'm just going to quickly see if it reacts to the power supply. I don't normally do this, but I am kind of curious. 54 milliamps, okay, so that's a very obscure kind of value. So we're going to take that board straight out. Hey Byron. What was the number? 551. I should have the number of the job in front of me just as a on a big LED panel, so I'll know straight away without resorting to constantly going back to the sticker. But you start doing that with everything, and before you know it, your whole view area is chock full of all these bits of information that you've either got in bright fluorescent colors or large scales, and you just become saturated with information, and so you end up defeating the purpose of what you're originally trying to do. This is going to be the earlier one, the what is it, 3435 or something like that. I don't know exactly, but it's not the 164 model. Get out. Yeah, it doesn't want to come out. Get the backlight off. Ah, come on, Paul, focus on the job. Spent the afternoon tearing up excessive growth on a bunch of geisha girl shrubs that I have in the backyard. They're very nice plants, but they do tend to grow rather aggressively. Which isn't a problem, except that when it gets too close to the fence, it is an increased possibility that one of the cats could decide that it may be possible to jump the distance, which, as you can imagine, is not an acceptable outcome for me. And Nick and Miles, Christian, Jaden, Riston. Yeah, I'm falling into my old habit again of calling out everyone's name. I should just sort of go, "G'day, y'all," and that'll be it. Okay, I think right. This has been wiped down. Someone's been here before. Looks like there's some liquid or something was here, and they've just tried to wipe it away. So we might have some corrosion around the SMC area. What the? Okay, why? What? It's already got flippin'. It's already got green cure on it. Doesn't really look like my kind of work. Yeah, things just got worse. It has been ultrasonicked. Yeah. Oh, crap. Okay, so it looks like the BIOS area is probably going to be the culprit based on the fact that that's scratched to hell. I'm not sure what's going on here. But I'd say the BIOS area, this section here, is our culprit. Nick, I really don't like these ones. I used to have high hopes for them, but yeah, because they were related to the 1466. Okay, so yeah, it's 3435 wood, so I was right. Yay, one thing I'm right about for once in my life. I should tell a leader that. I'm just going to update the job information. 820 34 35. Or I think I said 34 36. Oh, brilliant. Come on, try that again. Well, I guess we'll just try to fix up the BIOS area. So it's interesting, they were digging around and I'm sort of going to guess something. One of the resistors isn't quite right, or one of the tracks isn't quite right. So it's just odd that they would dig around here and not actually clean it all up. I guess they had the reasons, it must have been working. So like, even things like that, that'll... But I would be worried about, say, this resistor here. This seemingly, I don't know whether that's just been exposed out for the sake of it being a test pad, or whether it actually has a veer under there. This here, I'd be worried about breaking the line. That resistor there in particular, it looks borderline at best. So they have reworked this a bit. Yeah, I'm just not sure if this test pad has just been bought out or when there is a veer under that. Not that it matters, because it is seemingly intact. Alright, at this stage, what I'll do is I'll just try and solder either end of those resistors and see how they behave. That cap looks pretty damn nasty, in fact, up there. Very nasty, in fact. It's not shorted. But it certainly doesn't look great. Okay, we'll check these. These are usually 43 or 15s, I think. Oh wait, this is a different board altogether. Why has it done that? Okay, I'm just going to go through, compare the values to what I want. So 24.9, so 25 or less. Okay, we're good for that. I can get away with this in continuity mode because the continuity is good for up to 500 ohms, I think, on this one. 33. I will test on these test pads as well to see if there's continuity. 43 for the next one. That's good enough. 43. Yep. They're showing a little higher, likely because of the just general trash on the line. Surprisingly, that resistor is actually intact. I'm still going to rework it. So it's a 15 out here. Yep. 22 just for the hell of it. Oh, okay. Interesting. Or have I made a mistake here? Yeah, I made a mistake there. I think. 1926? Okay, 1926 is supposed to be 22. And it's reporting 45. So that there should be a 22. Overall, that probably shouldn't have caused any real issue, but it maybe throws something out of balance. Anyway, we'll replace that with what it should be. And this last one here is a 25. Okay, so that one is, they've put the wrong resistor there when they changed it. AITC. Easy enough mistake to make in this sort of area, and I could actually be wrong in this case. I'm going to... The reason why I say I could be wrong is because sometimes they actually do put different values on. So I'm just going to go find a donor and see if it's in fact a 43. Oops. Looks like I'm going to have to get one of my actual working ones. This probably should be the same. No, that's a 22. Alright, so they've definitely put the wrong resistor on there. Interesting. But I gotta tell you, all the rest of them really need some definite rework done to them. I was trying to work out before replacing it whether it would cause problems or not. And as it was, the pad wasn't properly cleaned up anyway. Hey, Truffles and Coco, come here to fight with the cats, have you? There's a whole discussion going on that I'm not aware of. Alright, that's fun. Pads are lifting up. Alright, so what do we want? 22, and that's going to be a 201. Okay, 22 ohms, 201. Let's see if I've actually got one of those, or whether I have to dig into the box of goodies. Now, some people are going to say, well, just take it off a donor, and I do agree to that, except, well, I've got a big box of resistors that I need to open up and sort out. Yeah, these are all 201 resistors in there. Yeah, 33, no, that's useless. So yeah, I'm just going through to see if I do have 22s in stock, or whether I have to go dig into the new box. When I've got more room for shelving and everything, I'll be able to finally organise my components like I used to. 33 fours. Yeah, I'll actually have room for a good array of boxes, so I don't have to keep cramming everything into small boxes. Alright, no, we don't have a 22 in here, so fairly sure there should be a 22 in that big supply box. Game and Nexus. Was he the guy that basically said that the 11th gen Intel chip was basically not worth the sand it was made of, or something? I seem to think that might be what you're talking about. Hey, Eddie. Let's get some unboxing therapy here. They're all upside down. Damn it. I'm gonna have to send them back. What's this? Oh, these are my encoders. Good. I hope I got the right size. They actually kind of look a little tall to me. They're the encoders for my Logitech mice. Because I've got another one that's starting to, when you scroll, it skips backwards rather than forwards and vice versa. And it's because the rotary encoder, just the contacts start getting a bit dodgy. Alright. Well, I guess I'll just mark these as I go through them and throw them back in the box. Let's see, 2K2. Damn it. Let's give him a little bit of a stabby. 2K20201. 3K3. Yes, this is why I stab him. Now, people are going to be wondering, why am I doing this when it's already on the label? And the problem is that, you know, I can have this for 10 years and they're still okay, but that label will fade. And I'll be wondering what value it is. Let's see, 100 ohms. The size, at least, I shouldn't have a trouble working out. If I can't work out what the size is in 10 years, probably because I'm too blind to see properly. 220 ohms. Hey, Brian Sunderland. Yeah, we've just got okay, 20k for that. We've just got mask requirements when we go out here. 1k5. $4K7. be the last one that I look at. That's going to be the one I want. $27K. $12K. I pity the poor bugger that had to actually spool these out and put them into bags for me. It's got to be a bit of a unfortunate job. 270 ohms. 270. No. Hey, Maven. Yeah, Tom, when the product numbers change quite quickly. I mean, this here is the section that I want. The barcode's pretty much no good to me. It's not a QR code, it's a data bit code. My scanner doesn't quite read that one. And you can't trust them half the time anyway, in the sense that sometimes they don't even put the value on there. 2K7. It's only if it's in the product description. Because I've got a few bags of stuff and I don't know what the values are. Hey John. 15 ohms. Ooh, we're getting close there. $22K, we're out by a couple of magnitudes there. $47 ohm. Really getting close. 10K, bugger. I think it's DigiKey or one of the other big companies that are now going to start printing the values on the actual back of the strap, the strip. That is going to be an absolute delight to have. 39 ohm. Very nice to finally have the values printed on the strip so that even if the strip falls out or something like that, you can always see what it is. Rodrigo. 120 ohm. You may wonder why I'm even bothering buying all these. I mean, when you should be able to just use donor boards, but there is itchy nose. Hay fever's been so bad lately. 6K8. But there are many times where I need like new parts. Like maybe if I'm doing a project myself, in fact. 18 ohms. Oof, getting real close there. And many a time it's nicer just to use a new part if you have it on hand. And yes, I do have the books of these strips, but I've actually thrown them out because they're junk. You watch, I probably don't even have a 22 in this order. 27. It's making fun of me here. Yeah, I was having a lot of trouble with some of my repairs, and it turned out that the 10 ohms. It turns out that the resistor strips that came in the books, something was not quite right with them. They would misbehave, and 22 ohms. Huh. That's not bad, you know. We end up the third last one. And so after that, I've decided I'm just not going to trust them anymore and just threw them out. I mean, it only costs me, probably only costs you about 50 bucks, 60 bucks if you get them all like this. 100K. And that's like 100 units each. I've seen the park keeper. That would actually drive me insane. For some people, that would work great, but for me, it's not going to. I have looked at it, but I decided in the end that the answer was a big fat NO from me. Yeah, John, I am in the 3-day lockdown. It's all of this area, but I suspect it's going to take a bit longer than the 3 days too. I mean, I'll be very surprised if it doesn't. But I would not be one bit shocked if it turns out they say, well, we have to extend this because we've still got more cases popping up. Okay, that resistor flew out somewhere and I have no idea where. Is this you? No, you're a piece of plastic. See, any trouble with these little 201s or anything smaller than 402. It's so easy to just lose them. Nope, it's a piece of junk. It's in here somewhere maybe? I don't know. Oh well. There we go. And that's the other reason why I like to have them on strips like this, is because, yeah, if you've got a donor board and it's particularly, you've only got that one donor board and it's a value you don't have anywhere else, and that sort of thing happens where it disappears, then what are you going to do? So, dear. Sorry guys, I've got the hay fever's killing. Down and to the left. It's probably fallen off now anyway. Alright, we'll put this one on. We've got to be a little bit careful here too, because remember that left hand pad is actually lifting. The other nice thing about using new parts is that the reflow of the solder onto the end caps is going to be vastly superior. Okay, let's see if that actually fixes it. I honestly would be very surprised if it does, but you never know. And I just realized that the DC in board for this is, of course, not one I have floating around. So I'm going to have to put it back into the case like this. On the side of the IC. I'll get another check there just before I power it up. I must have just flicked it off when I flipped it over. Oh well. No, it probably moved. It's okay. It probably moved when I flipped the board over. So I'm not surprised it's not there anymore. Still 55. Alright, I really should look at the greater issue here, and that is the fact that we don't even have a MagSafe. So let's see if we get 342 showing up anywhere. and see if we have 1256. No one needs the fan. Oops. Way to kill the multimeter pull. .49. Have I got the right location? 17. Okay, well, we're definitely not getting 342 out, that's for sure. 0.49, wow. So we've either got a bad regulator or something pulling the 342 line down. So let's go to diode mode and have a look and see what we've got there. Yeah, we've got a short on the output of the 342 line. Go to continuity mode and hear it beep. God, that's such a weak beep. If there's one project I'm going to do with that multimeter, it's to make sure that it gets a foghorn for output. As it currently stands, it's completely and utterly useless. Even for a person who has reasonable hearing, which I do not. I don't know how they thought they could make something with such a weak beeper. Why can't they make something like one of those birthday cards that never shut up? Alright, so I would say, based on the corrosion and the fact that there's a whopping great big crack in that cap, that is the fault there. Bam. I'm kind of curious now, then, with that resistor value that was incorrect. It explains to me then also the fact that, I thought, well, it's not the right value, but I couldn't see it truly stopping the board from getting to this, but that's definitely failed there. You can see the crack running right through it. Evening, Bahamut. Or Bahamut, rather. Didn't even have to use the beloved infrared on that one. Much to the disappointment of many, I'm sure. Schematic. So what are we after? We're after 10 microfarad, 402, 10 volt. It's pretty jelly bean type part. 10 microfarad, 10 volt, 402. I'll get a fresh one. I've probably got 16 volt. That's not a cap next to it, that's a coil. Ten microfarad, 10 volt, 402. Hey Bruce, how's it going? Wow. For some reason I didn't buy many of these. They must be expensive. That's the thing that gets me when people say that the quality of the parts on Apple boards is low or whatever, or that they're just trying to cut down the budget and all that. What they don't realize is that Apple generally pushes the limits on, particularly with things like capacitors. They really push the limits on the capacitance for the size in a lot of their designs. Many cases you will not be able to buy commercially or under normal, shouldn't say commercially, buy from the places where I normally get stuff the sort of maximum. I will replace this anyway, by the way, and it looks like, that's funny, you can see that the person, the tech here that was before me, they were digging around here. See, there's quite a few probe marks in there. They're not all mine. 2 of them are mine, and 1 of them was theirs. So they were so close, and missed. Anyway, as I was saying, with these cap values, it's actually very expensive to buy these caps with the higher capacitance and voltage rating for the physical size. Apple caps on their devices would be costing them quite a bit of money. Because realistically, what they could have done is, instead of a 402 size, they could have just as easily gone with 603. Was this the cap you were talking about, maybe? That's just got some but instead they go for these very compact sizes. Oh, g'day N555. Oh, a bit too much flux there. That'll make Jason Vilma cry. Not that it matters, he doesn't do enough videos anymore. We should all express our disappointment. Oh, come back here, Cap. Yeah, the guy gets 100,000 subscribers, much to my jealousy, but he gets 100,000 subscribers and he's only putting out maybe 1 video every 2 months. I mean, it's just, what's going on YouTube? Are you trying to tell me that his content is more interesting than mine? I guess you are. I feel hurt now. Okay, we are going to remove this coil. There we go. Oh look, the gaming people have arrived. Yeah, Tom, I do wonder about that. I think part of it might be because they probably are going to... it's more about their iPhones. Because you'll often find a lot of these exotic caps, if you're looking for a spare, you just go look at their iPhones and the iPhones will probably have them. The iPhone 6s in particular, I know I draw off quite a number of exotic caps from those. We are going to take the... We're going to take that coil off a 3437 or a 165 board, whatever I managed to drag out from the cesspit here. Yeah, this will do. Yeah, that one will do just fine. It's the same circuit on the 165, the 3437 or 164. Most of the circuits for this 342 section are all the same. So you can just grab the parts and you'll be right. My hot air did get a little warm there. Fortunately not a major issue, but I'm a little disappointed in myself. I was trying to explicitly avoid doing any sort of damage to that, but looks like I didn't win that game. That's why I've got the board orientated this way and my nozzle pointing off towards over here. Wristen, just experience by knowing that this sort of pressed metal construction here tends to be a coil, because that there is it's just like a ferrite, compressed ferrite all around the actual coil that's inside. I think we might actually get a boot now. Yeah, DJ Craze, they're definitely worth getting for, if you haven't got already a bunch of them, they're definitely worth getting for those sort of donor parts. I mean, I've got a lot of iPhone 6s, but I don't throw them out or anything like that because they're, like I said, particularly around the RAM area, they've got some really good caps. Yeah, let's see, pull up an iPhone 6 here. Like in this area here, I think it's these ones. Yeah, they're some crazy good values. 15 microfarad, 6.3 volts, 6.3 volts, 402. So there's more capacitance. I kind of traded that 10 microfarad to 15 microfarad, but dropped the voltage as a consequence. Yeah, if I try to buy them, they're going to be $1 or so each easily, if I can even get them. But on the iPhone 6, there's a whole bunch of them. The main job with the iPhone 4, I find, at least if you're doing part donor part type thing, is all the underfill that it has. Yeah, people complain about the underfill on the new devices, but really the iPhone 4 and the 4S, they took the cake for that. It was a damn nightmare, those phones. A855 airplanes, what? Oh. Alright, see how we go. Oh, we got a green light. Oh, we got power up. Unfortunately, I can't show you a fan spin because, well, I didn't put the fan in there, did I? Let's see if we can get a boot. Wait, what happened there? Oh, this is... No need to panic. This is like the 3437. It'll do the stop start, stop start. I was worried there for a split second myself. Ah, Miles. I'm sure I've got another board that'll need reballing tonight. Come on, give me the Apple logo. Don't disappoint me. It's still running, it's still blinking green. Just notice the power supply is not showing the same value. Oh, I'm an idiot. That doesn't even need any context. Screen cable. It's not even rebuilt properly. I don't know why I was even trying. I got so excited by the fact that it did work that I forgot to realize I still had to connect a million other things before it would function as a computer. Yeah, definitely need a screen. Put in our test system. We won't worry about the fan again. It's okay. Mark, a bit late on that, eh? But I know, you were just mocking me. Okay, let's hold down the key. Chaz. What was that noise? Okay, we've got to energize. You saw that flash over where it changes from that green olive sort of color to a black. I don't think I was holding that key down. No, what happened to the focus here? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I didn't have my finger properly on that Alt key, the Option key. I had it like over here, and that's why it took so long. At least I think so. We'll find out when it boots. It may, in fact, actually have no keyboard. See, Miles, you're watching someone do a PS5 SSD by hand? What? Why? Why? I guess if you didn't have a stencil and it was some obscure pattern. It's going to be a little bit slow because it doesn't have a fan, doesn't have a battery. It's going to be complaining a fair bit. Okay, keyboard works. Well, Riston, I mean, it was a bit of good luck, really. But I am tempted to put that 43 ohm resistor back onto the BIOS line and see what happens. But in saying that, we still need to go back and fix all of those BIOS connections, resistors, because they are not healthy in any way. And if I send this back, you can pretty much be assured that within another couple of weeks there's going to be another problem with one of those resistors just cracking off or something like that. So I'm going to take this board out, rework all those BIOS resistors. Okay, that's great, that's off. Now I have to decide, does that fall under the altruism or does that fall under paranoia? So I'm going to go for its paranoia as opposed to altruism. And because it's under paranoia, I shouldn't be punished by the universe for doing it. Whereas if it was paranoia or just me trying to be... sorry. If it was altruism, the universe would punish me. But because it's paranoia, I'll be safe, I think. Yeah, we've got someone Korean here. Thanks for figuring out why an I2C line isn't working on one of my battery monitor boards. Oh, hell no. I'll leave that to you and a DSO. By the way, I was looking at some Facebook chat today, and there was discussion about using hydroponic fan systems for, as fume extractors, and I can attest to the fact that they do work, and this is one of them here. But I will forewarn anyone who's looking to take that route to just go straight for the 8-inch impeller system. The 4-inch is so useless, I mean, it couldn't suck the skin off a rice pudding, so don't get the 4-inch. The 4-inch will not work. I know through experience. The only way you might get the 4-inch to work is if you narrow the intake right down to so maybe 1.5 2 inch diameter, but then you've basically got no wide area effect of draw with the fumes. Whereas what I really like about this 8-inch system is the fact that I don't have to move anything around. It picks up everything within the work area that I've got here. It is a little more expensive, obviously, being bigger, but it's definitely worth it. And it is a little noisier at high speed, but I would say it's probably quieter than the 6-inch for the same effectiveness. Because the 6-inch is probably going to run at a higher RPM, and that's what's going to annoy you. Alright, that's looking quite a bit better now. I may completely blue the area. Oh, I do want to check these two guys out. They're looking a bit shady hanging around the corner there. Yes, size matters. With the 8-inch you get superior suck capability with less work and less noise. Hey, Rilo. Does the extractor make me feel lightheaded? I don't know. I don't know if you're trying to make a joke there or not, but no, it does not. I wasn't sure. Like, apologies if I missed the joke. I do want to rework these legs here, but I do not have the heat capability in this iron. So what I'm going to do is pretend that I'm reworking them. I'm just trying to scratch out. I'm going to have to get the assistive heat. So 250 should do fine. It's actually very hard to rework these BIOS legs. Damn it. I'm gonna bring that board back. Just sliding as I'm trying to. Yeah, Mark, that's true. It all matters that it's all about the context, isn't it? I think I'm going to replace that cap. It's annoying me. It just has a feel about it that it's going to turn into a problem later. Again, it's a paranoid preventative maintenance thing, not me trying to be nice to the customer. And it kind of helps if I actually use the proper temperature and heat for that one. Oh right, okay. Well, that's interesting, any 555. I'm not sure what that cap was. I'm going to guess it was probably some jelly bean, 100 nanofarad, 10 volt sort of thing. Probably see one on here as well. I'd say it's probably that one there. But I'll check on the board view. Solder with an arc weld, accuracy by volume. Then you use the angle grinder to make it even better. Let's see. I'm the sort of guy that goes through a lot of angle grinding discs with my welding. $100 nanofarad, 16 volt, 201. Yeah, this is jelly bean stuff. How dare you suggest I need more practice? Practice is not required, just more grinding discs. When it comes to that sort of thing in life, I'm more the carpenter than I am the metal person. Which is kind of funny considering that, you know, we kind of are doing metal work here all the time. Okay, so that's just a 16 volt 0.1 microfarad. We call them jelly bean caps simply because of the fact that, you know, they're just common and everywhere. You don't even bother looking, and you lose them. You don't even bother looking at data sheets for these most of the time. You just sort of go, well, I've got a chip here. I'm going to put a 100 nanofarad by its input rail, just by default. Well, that was really effective, wasn't it? Tombstone. Oh no, here comes Liam Neeson. Alright, I feel better about that. That little one up there is a bit of a pain. You got to be careful of these seemingly benign little test pads. They can get corrosion on them and do some weird behaviors, but I don't know why half the time. But corrosion's understandable, but why they can actually really mess up the circuit even if they're just freestanding there is something I haven't bothered to investigate properly. Particularly that, yeah, people might say, well, it can short to ground, but you've got to realise that this is a pretty thick coating on the ground plane here. Careful around belt sanders. Yeah, my finger here knows all about that. It was a very exciting day, the day that my finger decided to explore the inside of a belt sander. Very exciting for everybody in the family. And the emergency department. Gave them something to work for. Alright. Well, I think that fixes that for tonight. No, I suppose I should... Yeah. I'll ultrasonic that and, yeah, sort that out tomorrow. What have we... Only just 11 o'clock. Hey, Flying Scout. Yeah, I was being an idiot with the belt sander. It was my own fault. Workplace health and safety probably would have laughed at me. But it was a case of improvising to get what I wanted done. And I sort of achieved a little more than I expected. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, well, the attending staff down at the hospital thought quite the same. So 551. For Chumbawelby, Spain, hello. Okay, that's pretty much everything marked. Let's stick it back into its slot. I'll stick the board up on top of the ultrasonic so that when it's all warmed up again tomorrow, it'll be ready to go. Stick the machine in the slot. And we look for another job. Okay, what do we got here? Okay. 1466, hello, hello. Customer reported, screen is not working, backlight's not working, open the laptop, there were some loose screws, oh god. Okay, so we've got a possible crazy rattler. Okay, I just kind of need to obstruct something here. Okay. That's better. I didn't want to... I've got a bad habit of, what do you call it, doxing my customers, and I try not to, I'm sorry, but sometimes I get a little carried away with the job and forget that I'm revealing too many things. Okay, so we've got a dent in that corner. Come on. Well, Miles, I got pretty damn lucky with that one, to be honest. Maybe it was because I was prepared to accept that it was going to be terrible. Hello. Crikey, I don't even know actually what character set this is. I'm not sure if it's not Chinese. It's not Korean, I don't think. Unless it's simplified. Japanese? It is Korean. Really? Okay. It didn't strike me as Korean initially. Translates to popcorn. Hilarious. Oh. Alright, so we've got fingerprints in there. It's always a good start. Disconnect the battery pull, disconnect the battery pull, disconnect the battery, good boy, good boy. Let's get the battery out. I just realised I used up a sticker, I shouldn't have done that. So I'm going to take the sticker off my little screw box. That sounds very wrong. 546. I'm going to write the numbers on here. Any ideas I should check the SMC resetter? 15-inch Macbook that turns us off halfway. That, Stuart, what is that? Is that 2010 or... If it's 2010, then they'll probably be C9560. If it's 2011, they'll be the GPU. I don't know. perhaps. This has had some rework done. Look, looks like a donor board. The keyboard flex has been changed. Interesting. Okay, we're going to have a look at the backlight area. Certainly looks fluffy. Okay, so the contacts are fine. The area looks okay, so we could have a bad backlight trace or just a bad driver. There's enough general fluff around on this board that it could easily be a bit of corrosion on the backlight driver. What did I do with my glasses? Oh, they're there. Now, Niles, well, like I said, most of the time I will walk away from, particularly when it says liquid damaged. Interestingly, we didn't really find current liquid damage on it. We found old liquid damage, which someone had already been working through. Oh, what? I thought it was 6. But the true fault was a completely non-liquid related cracked capacitor on 342. So it just goes to show that even when people are honest and say it was liquid damage, it's probably the time that the liquid damage wasn't actually to blame. One of those video pins looked like, really? I can see in the middle, yeah, you're right. And you know what? Good thing you pointed that out, because they are the return pins. Yeah, that's a return pin, but that... although that's dirty, that should only affect a partial display. It shouldn't be the whole display, but we'll find out. We're taking it out anyway to have a better look. I'm fairly sure they will be the LED return pins. Zombie fuse. We will not talk about that zombie fuse. That was funny after it. It was definitely one of those jobs where it was terrible, but you could laugh about it afterwards. But during the process, it was most unpleasant. 8-10 minute. I'm still taking the whole board out because given the dust level, I will not be surprised if there is some corrosion. It's not specifically the dust that causes the corrosion, but rather the dust's ability to be able to form condensation droplets. I mean, it could be wrong. Could be those return lines after all. There we go. Okay, someone's been here before. Yeah. Holy smackaroonies. Yep. This is the story of a tech that didn't do things right. No, just kidding. There is some liquid issues here, but not bad. But this is something very strange. What have they done? They've got like black conformal? No, they just done really bad job. They've used, I'm going to guess they haven't got a microscope. That would be my guess. This person did not have a microscope. It really looks like the sort of work when you don't have a microscope. So you throw down a couple little blobs of solder paste and try to rebuild. So this is going to require that I remove all of that stuff and start again. And that black spot, I'm guessing, is actually black conformal coat. Now the question is this an Apple refurb board? Well, we have the great Apple sticker here. And I'm pretty sure that is pretty normal. I've seen that before on genuine Apple refurb boards. So does this mean that that job, that hacked up rework job, is that actually an Apple authorized repair from one of their refurbishing agents? I'm guessing yes. And it's delightful proof that they're no better than the rest of us. So what I'm guessing is that it just simply, that's not even conformal coat. That's just black pen. That's just black Nico pen. Sharpie. That's black Sharpie on that. It's not even conformal coat. UV cure or whatever. They've gone along and they've just used a Sharpie on top of it and said, there you go, looks good. Yeah, you're out of here. Yeah, so this is their coverage. Black Sharpie. Which actually works quite well on iPhones. I don't know if any of you have experienced it, but sometimes with the early, I think it was the iPhone 4 screens, the 4S, every now and then you'd end up with a scratched black backing on it, and you needed that black backing for the infrared proximity sensor or whatever to work. And so you just get a black pen and do it over a few times, and it did the job. Alright, see now that also didn't scratch back the corrosion properly. So we'll do that and make sure we take it out to the extent where it stops. Hey JCT, how's it going? I'm actually going to just sop up some more of that excess solder blobs that we've got there. We may have to replace the driver as well. It doesn't bother me to do it, but so at the same time I don't want to waste my time doing it either. And I need a new blade. It's only the very tip that I need on these, and it's what I keep breaking. now we've got a fresh tip on that. Now we can actually grind away. See how far that corrosion has gone? This is why I'm always going on about scratching back further until it stops. Yeah, that's all the way around here. It just flakes off the board. So be gentle around here. I don't want to break any traces. I mean, yeah, it might be just a ground area, but it is important to get rid of it. Well, that feels better now. Yeah, honestly, I'm not even sure why they had that. Oops. Why they had that piece of wire there. I seem to recall it went from there to there. Mind you, I could be wrong. Could be something to do with the fact that with this pad here. Damn it, need assistive heat. There could be a crack in that trace just there. Might have been what they were doing. Flux. Shit. What the hell got sucked up there? Paper towel got sucked up. Thank goodness it was just paper towel. We had metal the other night. I really got to put that. I got to put the gauze back onto this because that's two things now that I've sucked up inadvertently. It's not a good habit to get into. Anyway, back to the show. Oh, we're going to turn the fan back on. Oh no. Alright, we have issues, Houston. It sounds like an old bicycle trick. Okay. Where are you? Where are you? Honestly, this is like nightmare material because, you know, when you see people put their hands into trash compactors and, you know, it's off, but you know that the damn people are going to, like, inadvertently make some ghost or someone turn it on. Well, that's what I'm kind of asking to happen here. So, I gotta be real careful. And it will take my fingers off. I haven't snapped a fan blade. I've got something up there. I can hear it. See? Old bicycle. Card in the bicycle spokes trick. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna take the whopping great big filter off. That's 2 foot long filter. Ah, damn it, I can't see what's in there. Alright, let's see if we can actually have... I'm going to tape this camera and throw it up inside there and see if they can spot anything. Let's see. Well, I don't know what it's rattling on. Can't see anything. See if anything gets ejected. Hmm. Nah, it's not the bearings. It's if it was the bearings, it's definitely, I can feel it's something that's, yeah, something between the impeller and let's see if I can get this thing out of here. Should just be a simple fit these days. Ah, hell, it's not. That's right. Ooh, here we go. Found it. Oh yeah. Okay, that is a iPhone battery wrap. It's a wrap. Right, now I have to reassemble this machine. Very important to have this join here. It makes it so that the airflow is directed sort of at a bit of an angle towards your workpiece. Otherwise it's just a straight up and down draw, and it doesn't really work as well when it's straight up and down like that. Right, okay. That's just friction locked on. There. And this, of course, is my great big filter. I have to get a new one of these. This one needs to be, yeah, it definitely needs replacing. All it is just, so if you look down that, very heavy. It's, I wouldn't say very heavy, sorry, I'm overstating things there. But, you know, it's in the region of about 8 kilos, I'd say. Certainly not light. Okay, I do have to seal that connection though. And for sealing it, I have got aluminium tape. This stuff's great. I love this stuff. I actually bought this stuff because I was doing a model aircraft and I wanted to simulate aluminium, well, it was an aluminium airframe, and so this worked very well. The only trouble is it does pick up so many imperfections. Guess I made it more realistic in the end. It's just a bit tricky to get it initially separated. But yeah, it's great tape. I love it. What? How can you call this Chinesium tape? It is the... And best of all, you can get yourself a nice electric shock from it too if you inappropriately apply it. Ach, niemand, come on. Ah, you must. Anyway, whoops, can't say that on YouTube. Will actually translate that. Forget about that at times, you know, it's like you think, oh, I'm talking in English, you know, video, and then you start cussing out in other languages, but YouTube's like, hey, we know what that means, buddy. Alright. Okay, let's see if this goes. Beautiful. Smoke test. So that's what I like about this, is like I'm well over about 1.5 feet away from the intake and it's still rapidly drawing that smoke away. Alright, now we can get back to the job. Oh, that's hot solder still. Oh, okay, not so hot now. Oh, that would have been Afrikaans. It said something offensive about its mother. But I didn't actually end up fully saying it. I stopped myself before I realized. Hey, what am I doing? Oh, that's right. I was supposed to be draining up the excess solder here. Actually, no, it wasn't. I'd already done that. Oh well. I'll do it again, no harm in that. Just means we've got clearer pads again. Steve K, I will not be saying any further. Ina. Ina. Are you allowed to say Ishman anymore? No. Or is that not permitted anymore? I don't know. I mean, there's so many things that changed over in South Africa. I can't be sure what I'm allowed to say anymore. Are we allowed to say that Zoomer is a shower head? There's definitely issues with these pads here. And for some reason the flux is not agreeing with my attempts here to do a nice job. Basil, Basil, thank you very much for that. Yes, that will definitely become a dark fruitcake for me in this case. Thank you very much for that, Basil. Basil contributed, I think it was, what was it, 10 Australian dollars to the fruitcake fund. And that's referring to the edible fruitcake, not me, the fruitcake. Oh, you mongrel. Someone else has already taken those 2 bits from there, so we'd have to get another one. Yeah, Keith, I completely appreciate that. It's very sad to see so much of a downfall. Whoa, this has got... Okay, why has that got so many... It's 165, what have we got here? 165? Oh no, I was right, yeah, okay, no, my bad. We do have 3 parts to transfer. Petra, thank you. Very much appreciated. Sorry, the screen is out of focus right now. I don't really put perhaps enough effort into the presentation of my videos. I do apologize for that. I used to do it quite a bit more, but I've sort of lost the energy to be able to edit and things like that. I would like to return to that, but I think that would probably be a case of I'll need to wait for the new workshop and things like that. Oh great, double tombstoning. Yes, Steve, I was going to test that after I put the parts down and see if I can find a response for that that might explain why they did what they did. Yeah, Stuart, I do love myself some pavlova, yes. Pavlova's a little classier. Well, fruitcake's a solid offering and you can enjoy fruitcake all year round. Oops. Oh, congratulations on the repair. So what was it? Fix the 1466 and replace its panel. Did you actually split the screen open and replace the panel there? It's not something I've actually done. What was wrong with the board? Let's do a continuity check here from the test pad. Okay, I can barely hear it, but yeah, that seems okay. It's very unusual that they must have had the trace there for some reason, surely. There's 2 ways out of it for me. I can put my own trace down, or I can just blob it. I don't mind Panettone, but yeah, I gotta admit, I do sort of gluttonize on the fruitcake a bit more. The fan I've got, like I said, it's an 8-inch, 200 watts I think it is. It's a very nice fan to have. Okay, now see that's just a little bit too much of a blob. It's very it's a very nice looking blob, but it doesn't have a place here. It's a fine balance here of drawing away enough solder but leaving enough for the bridge to occur. And I got that wrong. Well, I'll put down a wire purely as a precaution. I have a feeling, like I said, I have a feeling they didn't have a microscope. I genuinely don't think that they had a microscope, so they were what they perceived perhaps as a broken line was in fact probably just a bit of corrosion on the pad, because those resistor pads were a bit messed up. So I'm going to guess it was actually corrosion on the pad, but in order to not have it come back, I'm still going to put that little piece of wire across it. I'm going to use lens wire for this one. I do like this lens wire. It's not as durable, the enamel coating, as the stuff that you normally run across the boards. But if you do want a lightweight wire with very easy to remove enamel, this is the stuff. It's actually meant for crystal radio people. And I'm making a complete mockery of it there. Wow, that's terrible, Paul. Could you do any worse? Actually, no, don't answer that. Maybe it'd be easier if I just tag it down here first. What is going on? And the enamel's not coming off. I introduced the wire in such good spirits, and now it's not agreeing with me. How rude. It was a blown 0-ohm fuse on the CPU voltage sense. Oh wow. That's not really a common sort of, well, I don't think I've ever encountered that, so congratulations on finding that. I should probably just be quiet here for a second while I solve this, because honestly, right now, I am looking like the last tech you want to send anything to. Hey, we got one down. With the board view, I'm guessing that was open board view you used. There's the wrong solder pull. I've been getting cranky at some people again lately on my emails. I get these people that, yeah, they want a copy of Flexboard View for certain reasons, and I said, well, there's I said, yeah, I understand if you can't afford Flexboard View, there's no problem with that, but fortunately for you, there is Open Board View, and Open Board View lets you do all the same work, but okay, you don't have the PDF speed up. And they're like, yeah, it's an inconvenience, and it's like, well, if you're doing this commercially, then within your first 2 jobs, you should have been able to pay for the license. And if you're not doing it commercially, then okay, I mean, yeah, it'd be nice if it was easier, but then, yeah, that's why I'm selling it commercially with that feature, because it's like, well, okay, if you want to save time, and time is money, then buy this version. But some people seem to think that because it's inconvenient with the free version, that I should be nice and let them have a copy of the commercial one, which has the PDF integration. It's not, that's not how it works. No, Miles. Fortunately, the schematics thing, that has been solved. I don't get that anymore. Oh, well, mind you, I probably will now. It wind back 4 years, and I should really just tell people to go install Landrex to make them appreciate what Open Board View actually does offer. It's like, well, you can always go back to Landrex and have a try of that and see how you go, and you'll appreciate that Open Board View actually offers quite a bit already. Okay, that was a bit of a protracted drama there with the fan ingestion. Yeah, I mean, it does take more work because you've got to cut paste between the programs to search for things, but it's you pay for features. It's as simple as that. Sorry, I'm just mucking around here. James tried to download the version with schematics, but PayPal button wasn't working. Solid Bridge there is, of course, demonstrating what happens if you do try to purchase it thinking that you're going to get schematics and board views. The button will not activate. The button will say, nay, these things do not come with the product. It is kind of funny, it's all in the marketing, because really, by the way that Open Board View and Flexboard View designed, you are limited, well, you're not limited to what board views and schematics you can use, because it's a generic reader, kind of like Adobe Reader is a generic PDF reader. You're not just limited with whatever PDF documents they send you. And same goes for Open Board View and Flexboard View. They're board view displayers for whatever board views you happen to find now and in the future, as opposed to being stuck only with what was supplied, and if it all goes out of date and irrelevant, then too bad, it's a lost investment for you. Okay, that's clipped in. Well, Petra, I'm glad you understood that because it seems that a good number of people do not, or at least they don't wish to. They feel that they have some emotional reason as to why they should be getting the commercial version and are ungrateful for the free one. And I think it's more the fact that they're ungrateful for the amount of effort and work that has been put into the open board view, the open source one, that stings the most and makes me rebuke against them. Okay, let's see how we go, see if we get a backlight. Okay, we've energized. It'll be interesting to see. Okay, we do not. Okay, backlight's not working. So I would say that the driver is dead. So we'll replace the driver. Carlos, it's C++, or as I prefer to call it, C++ified C, or is it Cified C++? Depends on who you talk to. I am mostly a C programmer. I am not a true C++ programmer. I have no problem doing object-oriented coding. I was a professional Ball and Pascal coder for many years, but I have a personal preference just to use C for the most part, plain C, and then use some of these STL stuff like vectors and strings to make my life easier. Alright, so we're taking the driver off. Hopefully it doesn't mess up my wire. Just going to check the diode mode on the feedback lines. See if there's any difference between them. Hey, Warren Stamps, how's it going? A little late. Wrong way around, Paul. So first thing to do is we check the actual on this feedback line, and that's open, which is bad news. Oh, no, come on, you. Oh, I thought I saw you jump then for a second. Damn it. Okay, what about back here? Okay, so they're also down, or is it these ones? I forget at times. Oh, damn it, I'm looking at the wrong board. Yeah, okay, so these ones here are also backlight, and we've got an open reading on them. So we'll flip over and see if we get a reading over here. Everything's open. What is going on here? That shouldn't be open. short. Oh, I know why it's reading open, because it's there's no driver on there, so we can't actually get it. Damn it. Alright, just hang on there. Let's try something else. We want to see if there's a link between these pads here and here. Okay, we do. So we do get between those two. So I'm just going to guess that it actually was the driver and it's not the feedback trace. Give me another 165 board, please. People are gonna go, he's a madman, what's he doing? Why is he not just getting another backlight chip? Oh, come on, give me a 165 for flip's sake. Yeah, it's a good looking 165. I'll take that backlight driver. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm too lazy to reprogram these drivers so that they give the nice smooth transitions. So it's easier for me to just steal them from another board and reball them. Okay, Petra, take care and thank you for letting us know. It is surprisingly hard to get that backlight driver off the board. Thank you, Greg. And some people will actually fit that driver back on like that. They'll put bumps on the circuit board and they'll put bumps on the chip and they'll put that down and call it a day. It does sometimes work, but it certainly lacks durability against vibration and things like that. But I suppose if you're in a bit of a spot, then, well, it's a way out. Okay, where's my... Ah, shoot. I let my... Damn it. I let my stencil tray dry out. That's not good. It's bad news all around doing that. Ah, Brian, don't let the door kick you on the way out, buddy. Dipshit. I know one of the... There it is. I was going to say, I know one of these matches and that's it there. sad state of the world that people feel very compelled to have to share their feelings like that. I mean, fine, yeah, I get it, yeah. Some people don't find it interesting at all or anything like that, but yeah, it's the sort of thing, it's, you just move on, you go to another channel. But this compulsion that a lot of people have to actually let you know, to verbalize it, it's like, why? What's the point? You know, I'm not trying to market this to everybody. I'm not trying to even say it's entertaining, but you feel this compulsion to have to let everyone know. It's like when a car or a computer or something, some device, random device comes out on the market, and often the first people commenting will be all the people saying, oh, you know, that's not going to suit my needs, it's never going to sell, and so on and so forth. It's like, maybe it's not even marketed to you. You're perhaps not the intended audience. Have you ever thought about that? No. Ah, shoot. Where the heck is my spudger? I was using it just merely less than a day ago. Gleefully doing SMCs. Stuart, yeah, I do apologise for that. Some nights I'm a little bit loose with the tongue, and I try not to be. I do prefer to reserve the use of such words for when it actually matters. Like right now, the fact that I can't find my spudger. Are you kidding me? Where is my spudger? Well, that's definitely a disappointment. Talk about delaying everything now. All because I can't find a spudger. Left it with as angry as I can get with some customers. I don't think I'd ever do that to myself. Alright, I'm just going to have to come up with an alternative here. Because otherwise we'll be here all week. Use your finger. Probably could actually at this scale. This is not what I would use as a sponge. It doesn't have the ability to really squish down, but that'll do. Although that looks a little uneven there. That's the trouble, is when you don't have a spudger that has sufficient blade tension, then you end up with an uneven spread. Yeah, 390 is pushing a bit aggressive, but we're gonna do it. Okay. They're just a bit awkward to use at this scale, Tony, but otherwise I would, yeah. I have used them in the past, and that's why I sort of didn't do it this time, because I find them just a little bit too awkward. Anyway, job's done. Just going to put a little bit of flux on that, and then just reflow all those again. just to make sure they're central. A black Amex card. Happy to say I don't have any credit cards anymore. Very satisfying seeing the end of those damn things. Cutting them up. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm trying to find out where the hell my pin one is. Come on, man. Show me pin one. Oh. There we go. But now the downside is we've got cotton threads on the underside of it. It's not one thing, it's another. So we're going to use more cotton. Alright, I just need to flatten out those pads. Ah, got it. Yeah, I can see there's a bit of a bulge in the middle there. One of those middle pads has still sort of a bit of solder on it. A bit of junk on that feedback pad there. Fortunately, it is just junk. Yeah, that's okay. Alright, let's try that again. Just pick up that excess flux. Don't want it spreading around on the customer's machine too much. Andre Gomes, welcome. I was just thinking, this might not have been a driver fault after all. It could have actually been a PWM fault. Just I don't get them very often, so it didn't occur to me to check to see what the PWM setting was on that pin. Hopefully it's not a PWM fault. Because they are a bit of a pain. Particularly if you get forced into a situation where you effectively have to set the... Why am I doing that for? Why don't you do that? Where you have to set the brightness to 100%. It's not a very customer happy type solution. What's going on here? And solder bridge has of course been the ever-present negative voice. Thank you very much, solder bridge. Oh man, make me happy. No, crap in a heck. Yeah, I'm starting to think it's PWM. That is super frustrating. The reason why I'm thinking it might be PWM is because it's actually very low brightness there. What I might do is boot into it. Because even when I cover the back where the light would come in, there is a faint Apple logo, whereas normally if it is fully backlight dead, you won't even see a faint Apple logo like that typically. We'll find out. It could be completely dead. I'm just going to see if I can log in and see if I can increase or decrease the brightness. Try a second screen. Yeah, I'll do that after this. Did that just die? Okay, that's a concern. See how the current's dropped about low 200s? That gives me the heebie-jeebies. Now I've got the heebie-jeebies. I'm worried something's just happened. Okay, no backlight at all now. Not even trying, so maybe we've got a shorted screen. It's detecting the screen because you can tell when it flashes over. Let's see, diode mode, see what our backlight diode value is. Open circuit, that's not good. I don't know, 0.56, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Okay, let's have a look at where those corroded pins were. So we're looking around. Okay, so it's not. I was wrong. They are not the feedback lines. These are something around in here. I know you can barely see. I'm sort of at the limit of the. Oh yeah. SMC. Oh dear God, help us. Okay, DJ Crows. Thanks for being here as always. Connector actually doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna try with another screen. Okay, I got my 2020 tester. Yeah, I think I've been jinxed. It's weird, I smell burning. Burning in 1 amp, that doesn't seem good. There's no way that should be drawing 900. Okay, and we got the same thing anyway. Okay, so it's definitely board related. Well, most likely board related. Okay, oh, you know what it's going to be, probably the fuse. Sometimes you can forget the simplest things. Still, that 900 milliamps is a little strange. Yeah, fuse is dead. Funny how you forget these things. You get so used to fixing everything but the fuse that when you do get a board that has a blown fuse, you just don't think about it. You're like, the what? Never heard of it. What are you talking about? The what? The fuse? What's that? I mean, there could be other issues still, but certainly the fuse is a good place to start. Like I said, there could be other issues, but definitely this fuse was not doing its job anymore. It has done its job once and it said that's it. I'm a one-time offer. Unlike the zombie fuse that we had, that was a hilarious job. Alright. Found my stash of fuses somewhere. No, you're right, they don't blow themselves, but I suspect it may have been something we have fixed. Well, we're going to find out anyway, aren't we? I'm just digging through my pile of parts to find the fuses. Backlight fuse, here we go. Even has the same letter. Joseph, you trying to be punny there? Because it's fuseless. I applaud your pun attempt. And then the 13-year-old kicks in. Now the screen shouldn't be a problem because we already did measure the diode mode of the screen when it was plugged in. It was like 0.56. That is a pretty normal value, so I'm not looking for that to be at fault or a shorted type scenario causing issues with the fuse. It's not a guarantee, but just saying we've already covered that aspect at least. The 900 milliamp thing is definitely wigging me out a bit, but yeah, I don't know what to think of that yet. Oh, there it is there. Jeez. I feel like the keyboard's not working on this thing. Come on, man, give me a driven. Yes, we have a backlight. There we go. It was the fuse. Okay, I'm thinking that that extra current is coming from there's a fault in the keyboard or something here, because it's not responding to that. At least I hope so. We're going to plug it back into the client's chassis and see if it current comes back to normal. Hopefully we haven't created any new issues. Multimeter readout's frozen, is it? Is it really? Or do you mean the power supply? Oops, I grabbed the wrong lead. No, multimeter's good. Power supply's good. Why do I listen to people? Okay, it's the power supply you want. No, it was power supply. Multimeter's good. That's where I tested it. It worked. See it showing open. And there, see? Shorted leads, short. Steve, because when you say zombie fuse, that immediately makes me think you're taunting. And it wasn't a zombie fuse anyway. And that whole backlight driver area needed fixing anyway. Well, it looks like we're up and healthy again. So this will go through the ultrasonic and we'll test it again tomorrow. In the meantime, I am now done for the night. 12:30, so I'm good. Shut down. Did I report on my previous job, the liquid damage one? I don't think I did. Damn it. Yeah, we have to do our reports. Oh yeah, April 1. Terrible day. Alright. Now, well, you have to stick around for a moment now yet. Because I have to write the report for 3435. So what was it? It was the blown cap, wasn't it? It was this cap here. C7098 shorted, replaced. L7095 slightly corroded, replaced out of caution. And then there was that resistor for the BIOS that was completely wrong. R1926. 6 incorrect value. Replaced. All other surrounding. Okay, submit. And then there's this job, 546. This one was particularly interesting for the fact that, you know, it had that pre-work by Apple. So let's see, 165. $14, $15, and $30. 7731. Replaced. Trace. Wire. Between. U7701. And of course the fuse was replaced. F7700. And we also need to make note of the fact that we did see some sort of corrosion on pins 15 and 16 of J8300. 16 slight corrosion. think I'm done now. It's as much for me as it is for the customer. Yep, that's it. Okay, I'm out of here. I'm going to have myself some rooibos tea and cake, sit down, watch some X-Files, and relive my days when Scully was young and I was young and we had a great time. But yeah, time for me to relax, which means I'll probably be up till about 4:30 in the morning at this rate, because then just as I'm going to go to sleep, the kitty cats will have a fight with something outside and I'll have to go out, see what they're up to, watch them, and then get disturbed another 3 or 4 times and then struggle to try to go to sleep. The sun will start coming up and yeah, it's going to be fun. So just another normal night. Okay, you'll take care. I'll see you later.